Banggood have kindly sent me the Eachine E53 to review, a really unusual sort of folding drone. Feels totally different to any other one I've seen. Really small box as well, and well packaged up, really rock solid. Just QR codes on the end, and then all the functions and features that we run through in the review anyway, and then QR codes on the back. The reason the box is small is it doesn't come with a transmitter. This is just the Wi-Fi version, and because the legs are a little bit different and the fold out is a bit different, they've sort of given you an individual sheet for that. And then next is the instruction manual, and I've managed to have a look through this, and it's really pretty well done actually. Unusual shape as well. They're going for unusual shapes with this quad. The interesting thing is they do actually quote a transmitter in here, so hopefully as and when a transmitter one becomes available, I'll put a link down in the description for you. But they quote iDrone throughout the manual actually, so I don't know if Eachine have any links with iDrone, but they're certainly using their transmitter, so I will give my transmitter, my iDrone transmitter, a go and see whether I can bind it to the quad. It would be brilliant if I could. And the rest of the instructions are all really good, and then it goes into using the app, and it runs through all the functions on the app as well, so really nicely done, and the translations are very good as well. And then onto the actual drone itself, which is kind of unusual. I'm just going to pop that to the side for a second, and then you get a spare set of props as per normal, and a little mini Phillips screwdriver as well. And then to charge the battery, which comes actually installed, and so it's actually plugged in, ready to go. It would need charging, it'll have storage charge on it, but it's unusual to have them plugged in. And it's the Lossy Micro connector in there, and it's a little single cell, and it's 350 milliamp hour. Simply pop that out, pop it into the back of the USB adapter, and then plug that into your computer or your mains adapter or your car adapter or whatever's got a USB. The light will go off, and then when it's fully charged the light goes red again. And then onto this actual folding quad, which is really smart looking. Built-in prop guards, as you can see, and then we fold it out, it actually becomes quite a reasonable size quad. You could take the prop guards off, had a look at that, just a couple of screws are popping off, but then your props are not going to be protected at all while you're transporting it around, so I think they're probably a good idea to have. And a very simple way of putting it in, this is almost a sort of rubberized plastic here. You hear click there, just clicks into position. And it goes pretty solid actually. It's quite, you know, that's not going to take any nonsense, I don't think. Prop guards are a little bit flexible, so hopefully you won't get any damage, and the props are a bit flexible. I've had more flexible, I've also had very much less flexible ones as well. And there we are, all ready to go. On off switch on the back here, and nice to actually see the antenna sticking out there for the Wi-Fi, so we should get a good signal. They haven't buried it under the battery or anything. So I'll get the app installed on my phone, and I'll get that battery charged up. Let's go out for a flight. Okay, with this one you turn the quad on first of all. You do this with most ones that you're going to use Wi-Fi. As you can see, we have the nice flashing LEDs, and they're quite bright on this, quite impressive. And then before you go into the app, go onto your Wi-Fi settings, and then it should pick it up if you've already gone onto it. I went onto this inside, so it should pick it up, but it's saying it won't connect automatically, so you just simply have to connect up to it. There we go, and then back onto your main screen. And then this is using the iDrone. Pop the iDrone on, and you get a warning up that it's no internet access. That's quite normal. The way these work is the quad actually sets up a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you're just going to log on to it. That's all there is to it. You're not using up any of your data or your broadband. You don't have to be near a house with Wi-Fi or anything. You literally just do it anyway. And the easiest way I've found is just to scan through the images till you come across this one here, which is the i5, and we're ready to go. Press the FPV connection and simply press play, and there we go, we're all live. Now this has got a camera angle that you can just change a little bit. It only moves a little bit up and a little bit down, so it's up to you where you set it, or center obviously. I'm going to put it slightly downwards and hopefully do a little bit of try and do a bit of a selfie. And this app is really similar to one that I've done a full review on, and how to fly using an app basically, and I'll put a link down in the description for you there. At the moment we've still got the flashing LEDs, so though we're connected up and the Wi-Fi is all working, as you can clearly see, we haven't actually sort of bound it to fly, and all we have to do is just turn those on, the LEDs stop flashing, and then we're all ready to go. If you're not sure about the way it's flying, it's hovering and drifting around or anything, and it's not breezy when you're doing it, or after a crash or anything, it's always good to calibrate it. And the calibration here is just hidden in this bit here. You've got the scales there for calibration. If you press that, you get flashing LEDs, and that calibrates the gyro. So you want to be on somewhere level, and you want to be you don't want to move it while it's doing it, and basically now it should fly level. If that doesn't work, you do have your trim settings around here. So all ready to go. Turn those off, and then we'll run through the instructions. So hey, let's see how we get on, shall we? So auto takeoff, auto land. There we go. And it's got altitude hold, which is holding pretty well, I would say. Let's start that video, shall we? So it's not a very wide angle lens, and it's quite dull in the garden this afternoon. Unfortunately the sun's gone down a wee bit, so, and the apps are not usually very fast. That's at full pitch in low rates, and we've got 3 different rates on this one, so it's quite reasonable. Low's very good for learning in. I mean, this would be quite a good one to learn on, I think. Yeah. Like I say, it's really quite slow, and then you can up the rates by pressing this one here. Now that takes us up to 60%. That's a bit better. Yeah, that's fine. And this app's one of the good ones as far as I'm concerned. When I move my finger, it comes with your finger obviously for controlling it, and then when I touch back there it will jump to that point. I like these sort of apps, they work really well as far as I'm concerned. Let's pop it up to 100%, see what we get. Well, that's a lot better. They're never usually that fast, the apps. That's pretty cool though. Yeah, that's nice. Let's go out and do that selfie while I'm thinking of it. So just turn it round. Whoops, and we're going to drift. So let's stop the video and try and do the selfie. There we go. Hey, yep. Should I jump? No, it's not a pretty sight. There we go, so there we are. I'll try and look at the camera while I do it. There we go, right. Okay. Oh, it looks like I started the video again. Sorry about that. I wonder why it didn't make a... That's better. Makes a camera click noise, so that's good. Let's put that video back on again. If he's videoing, I would suggest you go nice and slow. Let's try the flip. Yeah, that's a good flip actually, because you choose what direction. Some of the apps it just flips. So you press the flip button here, and then you just choose what direction you want it to flip in. They're really good. There's a return to home button. I'll press that, and it is going back towards home, so that's rather good. And you press the home one again, or alternatively you can cancel it with the direction one. So if I pop it over there, pop that on, and there we go. As soon as I use this one, it will stop moving. Your throttle is here, so it takes it up and down. If you want it to turn right and left, that's your right and left. I'm trying to look at this and show you. So this is your forward and backwards on the pitch, and you've got roll left and right. Woo! There's quite a bit of wind sort of gusting around in our garden. There's a big surprise. You do have headless mode on this, which is this one here. That's fine. We're going to run out of... Oh no, headless mode will give you the... I'm not set up properly for headless mode, sorry. That wasn't good. I'll explain it indoors. Basically, I can't remember what way I was facing when I set it up for headless actually. I think I was facing around there, wasn't I? So I come in now behind it, and now we'll try headless. Yeah, that's right. So that's always right, no matter what direction the quad's facing in. So again, that's still going to go right even though it's facing that way. And forward is always away from me, and backwards is back towards me. So that's basically how headless works. Normally, forwards is the front of the quad there, so I'm coming towards me. Whoops, if I hit the button right, there we go. But there's loads of stuff on how to fly headless. I might even do a video on it. It might save me a lot of time one time. You can fly this on your gyro. So here we go. I can actually control it now with my phone. So, well, with my phone gyro, sorry. You can still do your altitude and everything, and your turning is all the same. This one has a bit of a twitch. I don't know if it's just my one,
I don't know what it is, but just if I can get it to a certain point, the quad would just do a little flick. There it goes. No idea why it does that. I've never had anyone do that before. And you can fly it exactly the same, but you're just using the gyro of your phone. So quite a natty sort of thing, I always think. And it is quite a nice little flight. I actually prefer it without the gyro on. I've never had that flicking incident thing happen before, and it certainly does happen on this one. And it's nice and controllable. Actually, it's a very good app, because I'm not usually that brilliant with them, to be honest. If you're familiar with the channel, you'll know that's no fib. Oh, you don't tell fibs on this channel. And you can turn the lights on and off as well. So there we go, got no lights on now. The wind is really catching this thing. I mean, it's not ideal for a windy day or anything. It's a lightweight quad, sort of indoor, very gentle outdoor sort of thing. So, and that's all it's geared at. That has flown pretty well actually. It's got quite a long flight, I think. You can use the FPV for, you know, sort of flying courses and things. It's not the best FPV in the world, but it's fine. I'm just going to do a quick range test, because I know over there will get me about 50 meters if I go back up this way. And we're just about holding Wi-Fi there. Hey, that is pretty good. That's far enough for me. And it held on, I could fly it as well, so that's really good. That was very good. That wasn't far off 50 meters. That's about a max range on it. You got auto land in there, and you can control where it's going to land still with the direction key. Once it's actually touched down, whether it touches your hand, the table, anything that's flat and level basically, or just it's come down to land, the motors will kill. Let's just launch that off again. You've got a kill button on this one as well, and that literally will kill the motors as soon as I touch it, like that. I always do that at the end of a review, otherwise it could be the end of it. Oh, for some unknown reason, the video had stopped there, sort of thing. Oh, probably because of the smackdown, to be perfectly honest. And the other way of stopping it is just literally to pull the throttle right off. If I can get this, so I can just catch it in my hand. Oops, I didn't get hold of it there. There we go. So just hold your throttle off. When it comes down, like I say, touches the ground, table, your hand or anything, it will stop. You can hand launch as well, so you just simply press it and off you go. And we're getting a bit low on the battery now. But that actually flies quite nice, and it's really well protected. Look at this. It's pretty good. You could put your hand in there, and that would be quite painful. Not too painful with this actually, but that actually holds that quite well. Look at that. Quite protected. The only thing you can get is a knock in that way. It's not going to be too good, obviously. Well, that's flown really well, actually. I've had a lot worse, I can assure you. And the nice thing is, it's a nice little folding drone, isn't it? So you shouldn't really run the battery out like I'm doing here. This is purely just because I'm reviewing it, so I've run it through all its tests, sort of thing. So it's just the benefit of reviewing, I think. But you should really come in and land once you get those pulsing LEDs that we're getting on it. That means that we're actually, whoa, there we go, so that's it gone. So you get these flashing LEDs, and that means that the battery's low. There we go. You get flashing LEDs on this one when it takes off as well, and I don't seem to remember a quad that happens on. So just to show you that, we've got the LEDs are on solid here. I press the launch button basically, and it flashes like mad, and then once it's finished going up, it will stop, and it goes up about 1.5 meters, something like that. So it was just I had it in my hand, that was why we wound up with it a bit more. This has something called journey mode, I think it's called, or some funky name for it. I'm up at 100%, and I'm just going to put this on. So we lose the controls on the right hand side, and we basically now choose where we want it to go. So if we draw a line, it will go there. It roughly stays at the right height. This one you can't actually rotate. Now, this is the only one I've ever known that you can't rotate it on. You can go up and down, but it won't let you rotate. You can do sort of loop-de-loops if you like. I could make sense of this if you could put it through like my hoops and then down through here sort of thing. That would be really cool if it would remember where it was gone, but it doesn't. So it just, whoops. Well, there we go. Do you know, I couldn't do that again if somebody paid me to. But yes, that's all it is. And it goes less when you're on the lower percentage, so now it's obviously going really slowly forward, and it doesn't go as far either, so I'll pop that up. We're just about to run out of battery. It will go a lot further. There we go, at 100%, so it goes a bit further. If that's your thing, it's really cool. It wouldn't be what I would pick anything for, I must admit, but and with catching it in your hand or putting it on the floor, you must keep the throttle off till the motors stop. If not, it will just pop back up into the air again.
Okay, so what did I think of it, the Eachine E53? I really enjoyed it actually. It's a nice quad. What I'm going to do is compare it up to my other folding quads I've got in the Eachine range, just to show you the differences. So this one folds out really nicely. Well, they all fold out nicely, to be honest. But what I'm going to compare it to is the Eachine E50, and that folds out in a different manner. Basically, the motors are sitting roughly in the same places, but the major difference is the size of the props there. I mean, they're almost twice as big, these props. So I found the flight characteristics on this one way better than the flight characteristics on this one. I much enjoyed flying this. Now, whether that's due to the app as well, because the app worked really well, and it was one of the apps that I like the way it functions and everything, and it's not got loads of complicated stuff in it as well. So for a beginner, it's good as well. No prop guards on this one. You're pretty unlikely to damage yourself with it. This one's obviously got your onboard prop guards, but you can get in here and get damaged. As I showed, you could wind up in a bit of problem there. But generally, it would sort of keep out of the way like that sort of thing, which is rather good. When you fold it up, this one's not going to go as flat or as neat as this one by any means, and it wasn't designed to either. They're going to be slightly different, aren't they? This one's going to fit in your pocket no problem at all, a little bit fatter than the phone and about the same size. This one would have to go into a bag, but it does actually take sort of crushing in, and it just pops back out no problem at all, so I don't think you'd actually damage it. I never managed to get the my iDrone transmitter working, but it's a pretty old iDrone, to be honest, so perhaps they've changed the specs on them, or there might be a bind button that you have to hold within it. But the one they sent me for review didn't have a transmitter, so I'm trying to review it as it was sent. If you've got an iDrone and you really wanted this, it's not going to make a lot of difference whether you can bind it to it or not, because the actual app works really well. Just a quick comparison also with the Eachine E52, and that's a sort of an uprated version of the Eachine E50, and this one can come with a transmitter where the E50 can't. So you're moving on to a transmitter there. The transmitter was fine on this one. I've done a full review on all of these quads, so all of these ones you can, I'll put links down in the description for you. Go and have a look at those if you're umming and ahhing and this is your sort of area to be in. Overall, I think I'd probably go for this one myself with my setup, because I'm usually got a rucksack on my back anyway, so this would go in no problem at all. If you want super small, then this one or this one, and you just fly them on their own apps. I personally prefer this app, so it really is your money. You've got to make the decision. I can only review what I see and give my personal impression of it and the market it's aimed at. I mean, these things are only 20 to 30 quid, so I think it's quite amazing. A nice little touch on this one is that the battery is a stock standard sort of size battery, so you've not got any proprietary batteries, which I really like, and the connector as well. And they do a little pack of 5 of these, and they're 380 milliamp hours, so you get a tiny bit more flight. I don't really think you'd notice it, to be perfectly honest, but you get 5 of those and a charger that charges all 5 up at once, and it costs about a tenner, and I'll put a link down in the description for you there. So lovely. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Good fun to fly, and they're just improving these apps. That's what they need to do, and if I can fly with them, anyone can.